Good morning, Pulsicans. We are here streaming from you from Puerto Rico. We're going to be doing a stream talking about maybe RH's alt account, Hexlena. So I thought it'd be fitting to bring my cat, since that's what that account is a cat lover and supposedly knows more about RH than anybody in the ecosystem. It's really, really weird. So would love to discuss that today. Guys, how you doing out there? How are you feeling? You guys out there, you doing good in crypto land and pulse chain land? Charts are still looking good in my opinion. They're moving, a bit to the sideways, which we're going to be going, could be going for quite a while until we start seeing the massive W printing. But man, this is your guys' stream today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the stream link in the chat. Feel free to come up and talk about thing, man. And I want to show, we're going to show that tweet from Hexlena where a lot of people anticipate this is RH's alt account. I don't know if it is or not. It's just weird that account. I was reading through a lot of the tweets last night, and there's a lot of tweets where he or she, whatever, knows a lot about RH. I mean, just information that I've never even heard RH talk about, at least from my perspective. I mean, I came in, around the Pulse X sacrifice. So some of you guys have been there since Top Hat days. But I even, I used to go back and watch some of his old YouTubes, and I've never seen like all the detail and information that she talks about. So I don't know if she's his alt account, or she's just really good at doing her due diligence on RH, right? But it's interesting because I want to talk about the tweet that she had posted last night, where basically she is saying that, in my opinion, she's saying that he's not coming back or that we don't need him back. And I disagree that we don't need him. I say we do, because we need leadership in the community. It's human behavior and we need, like, even leaders follow leaders. Like, I have my mentors and my leaders that I follow, who I listen to. And so make no mistake, this community needs it. Now, can we do without him streaming? Probably, but we're not going to get the absolute parabolic gains, in my opinion. Sure, he could bring in Ethereum and do whatever he wants with that. But like, in my opinion, I don't know. I don't think we see the astronomical gains without him streaming. I just don't. And that's my honest opinion. We got Mr. Norbert here. What up, bro, man? You're at the gym again, working on your health. I love this, dude. You're out there working on your health, which is going to help your mental framework. I'm a runner myself. I run.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to run half marathons all the time, but then I tore a meniscus in my knee. But I've gotten back up to where I'm running 5 miles again, 4 times a week, and so I might run a half marathon this year at the very latest, maybe next year. So what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Yeah, all good, all good. Doing my usual, as you were saying, focusing on health and personal development, trying to create a much stronger mindset. Because I realized that I thought you guys I'm doing trading, preparing for my exams and trying to create another source of income. And it's tough. It's really, really tough. Like to comprehend that kind of to comprehend the situation that you are capable of making 2-3 grand a day. I can't see it yet. I see like $500 gain and I start shaking. Like, oh, take it, man. It's 500 already. And then you do 1 or 2 silly mistakes, and then the 500 you made is gone, like in a jiffy.
Oh yeah.
Like so. Yeah, that's the
why I'm not
kind
a
of thing.
trader.
So
I don't
yeah.
want to trade. I just want to hodl. That's all I want to do. I mean, I'll trade some meme coins here and there, and I'll do whole like the what do you call it? The law meme coins, where like I'll buy into a new meme coin, I'll take out on a double, see if I can get a 10x after that, and then I'll take out. Right. That's all I'm doing as far as trading, and that's more just because I'm bored, not because I'm trying to make it. Yeah. What is your thoughts, man, of the Hexlena tweet? Here, I'm gonna go ahead and show it. Let me bring it up, man, and I'll read through it and see. Be interesting what your thoughts are and what everyone in the chat's thoughts are. You guys come on the show. I dropped the link in the chat. This is your show today. This is your time to come on and rap anything about crypto, anything about money. It could be about real estate. I don't care what we talk about. But here, let me show this, man, because it's interesting. A lot of the community members believe that this is his alt account. Now, whether it's his alt account or not, I don't know. But I was started reading through. And you see that? I started reading through a lot of her tweets, and she knows a lot of stuff about RH that I had no idea about. Stuff about his like past, and like she's got a lot of information about him that was very interesting. And she kind of talks like him from time to time, and but then she'll like on purpose misspell her tweets. But like, here's the one that's controversial today. It's been 1 year since Hexlena dropped this poll of Richard Hart wins, still doesn't read messages or show signs of ever live streaming again. To be fair, RH delivered a DeFi blockchain and a deck, so RH could just throw up deuces and bounce out. As returning means at least another 2 years and millions spent marketing a new blockchain from scratch, which most detractors say will be impossible to achieve, even for RH. So if we're assuming that this is RH, now I don't know if it is, guys. I'm just a dude on the internet who speculates on my bags and speculates on everything that we talk about. Like, I have no idea if this is RH, but if it is, this would assume or imply that he's not going to come back and start streaming again. Motley poked the bear last night. It was very interesting. I was watching or reading through some of this stuff. He said it's weird that you keep bringing up the topic of Richard Hart never returning to the public again and again. It's like you're trying to gauge the community sentiment, right, on whether or not they would be okay with him disappearing like Satoshi did. Remember, Richard said he's either dead or a bitch. I love this. Or abandoning Bitcoin. I imagine him disappearing would go over about the same or worse. And then Motley brings out some tweets that he was showing that, that she was doing and talking more about basically engagement. And here's a really weird one, man. She just has some really weird tweets that makes you sit back and go, is she RH? She said, what's really weird was she always, like, in her tweets, she puts this THEE everywhere. Like it's her little misspelling or like almost being cute. It's weird. Or he, right? We don't know. What's really weird is the way Pulse Chain launched and how PulseX AMM set up liquidity from day one and early farming pairs that got removed in a day. It was clumsy and seemingly out of character for RH as every action made number go down, which led many to believe RH was either compromised or kidnapped by the feds. Like, if this is RH's alt account, then it's a big what are you talking about kind of thing. Yeah, and then Motley's like, hey, here goes the conspiracy rabbit hole. Thanks a lot. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting. Let me stop screen sharing here so you guys can oh man, we got Mr. D Nice in the house. What up, bro, man? How we doing? Out there working for a living, making that money so you can bring it in the Pulse Chain. But first, what is your thoughts on that supposedly alt account of Hexlena? Do you think it's an alt account? Or do you think it's BS? What do you think, Norbert? I'll go to you first, man.
Did you see CZ being on streams every single day when he was the main character at Binance? You did not. Second thing is, we talked about this last time. If I was Richard, yeah, and I create one of the best financial product on earth, which is working flawlessly for last 4 years, let's say, not many crypto can do the same thing.
Right.
Is built on something which anyone can relate to. Certificate of deposit. Most of us being in a bank, and then you see that if you put some money in, you take more out.
Yeah, we
But
understand the concept.
he took that to the next level to make it even more appealing for the people. And then he created the layer one and the DEX and everything which are extremely important and necessary for every single blockchain. And despite all this effort, what most of the people do, buying pictures with fruits and animals and whatnot on it. No, I'm serious, man.
I
Because
know. That's why I'm
is what it
laughing.
does. It diversify the community. It make the economy energy much weaker, and it represent a bad image. And then it's kind of like not necessarily spitting on Richard's face, but if I was Richard, I would give you all these things, and then I tell you everything what to do and what not to do. And despite of that, you're still trying to get this quick gain on these stupid things. And then whatever I give you, you find it worthless. You know, you don't appreciate it because we talked about this last time. I'm using this side because we talked about this last time. That do you see a Rolls Royce advertisement? Do you see an Aston Martin or whatever? Like, no, you don't, because those product doesn't need any advertisement because they superior to the any other product similar to this item. Yeah, you don't see
Sure.
those items being advertised. So if we would all stand behind Hex and then we would do just those basic things what Richard said, it would be nice to see that you pair your eHex with pHex. Fair enough, he shit on eHex, but that's for another day to talk about. But bring over economic agent with push chain. We didn't do the basic things. I'm sorry, I wouldn't be like excited to look at my Joe Rogan mic and then come on stage and say like, but guys, I've been telling you 3 years, and let me tell you
But
one more time. Like,
but sir, it's the cart before the horse or the chicken and the egg question because community needs leadership. I'm telling you, there's me coming from the entrepreneurial world, like humanity in general needs leadership and mentorship in one shape or fashion. And with crypto, being that you have these guys on crypto Twitter who have never, had any kind of investing experience in their life, any kind of entrepreneurship in their life. They never had. They play this game as a lottery. These guys need leadership more than anybody. Is my argument that more than anybody, they need guidance and they need leadership and they need someone to sort of like get around and beat the drum, and they need to hurrah together. Like they want and need that. And so like, I feel like if they had that more, it don't have to be crazy amounts of leadership, but a little bit of leadership, they wouldn't be disjointed and buying so many pictures of a fruit or whatever have you, and going into other sub communities and then creating other cult like communities inside our community. We wouldn't have that as much. You still have it. You still have it. Don't get me wrong. You're still going to have it, but you don't have it as much. I guarantee you. So it's like the cart before the horse kind of thing. Which one could we, if RH is going to look at the community and go, oh, why should I stream when the community is shitting in all over my products? No, they're shitting on you all over your products because you're not streaming. Like and he knows that, man. He's not a freaking idiot. The guy is so smart, man. He's so effing smart. He knows how to get a cult-like community to follow him. Man, he did it before and he could do it again. He knows exactly how to come on stream and what buttons to push and what to talk about to get everyone all riled up and, kind of, like I said, surrounding around the campfire, beating the drum all crazy. He knows how to do that. I mean, he knows how to lead the forces, the troops into battle. And that's what is kind of needed right now, in my opinion. And not that if the timing might not be right for it because we're at in the cycle and we need some clarity around the SEC, and that's fine. But yeah, that's my opinion, man. And I think
you got a really good point. But before D Nice says his opinion, just let me add one more thing. And Frank is here as well. Nice one. Hello, Frank.
yes.
Hey guys.
Just one more thing. Okay, let's put this all on the side that people don't appreciate his superior products, and then they don't choose the right thing, and then it's fine. Buy pictures with fruit on it. It doesn't matter. But leave that healthy proportion. Like have the 80% of your valuable assets, and have like 10, 20%, or even 30% on these. Sorry, guys. Let's have about 30% on other things, which like high risk or whatever. It's fine, like it's okay to have it like that. But then at the same time, what would make you the strongest as a blockchain or any individual or any group of people on
Community.
Earth? Yeah,
Community
but
rallying around a leader.
but no, yes and no. It's one of those yes and no, because if we would be extremely dependent on Richard streaming all the time and Richard doing everything all the time, we wouldn't be as strong on a long term. On a short term, it would help us that yes, the ambience is up again and everyone is upbeat. But then you would be like a junkie, like a drug addict. Oh, give me another Richard. Then I'm gonna be hyped again for another week. So maybe that's why it's the same thing with your child. Your child needs your support for a while. But after that, you want to see your child to become independent and strong.
But we're not grown up enough. We're
it shows clearly, because if people swapping this, they post.
She's 3, right? My child's 3, and like she needs mommy, daddy all day long. Like that's all there is to it. Like there's no way in heck she could go make it in the real world yet and detach from mommy and daddy until she's at least 18, right? Or that's the average. I mean, give or take. But like, it's the same with us, man. We are so new and we're such a baby. Pulse Change is barely learning to crawl. It's trying to figure out all these different little issues and community. Like dude, we're so early in this change development. I would argue to say that he still should be beating the drum and leading the charge, at least into the next bear market. At least in through the next bear, and then maybe I don't know. Maybe he starts to fade. I don't know. It's an interesting thought process. I just know humanity and how humanity works. They need leadership. They need that cult-like type community feeling. And you can see it in the early Apple days, man. With what's his face that he passed. Gosh, not Tim Cook. Tim Cook's the new
McAfee.
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, I mean, that's what he did, man. There was the cult of Apple for so long. And it was all in the early days until Apple was a blue chip. We're far from a blue chip. Far, far, far. Now, I consider us a blue chip, and that's where I hold it in my portfolio, but that's not the way the market treats it. And so
but look at the team. Look at the team of Apple, or look at the team of Tesla. Those guys, they give their heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears to make that product to succeed.
We need that.
And right now we're lacking those kind of people. I mean, look at the 4 of us. We are here on a Friday. Like we're doing whatever we can to make it even better.
I feel like the builders are doing their job, and we have a lot of great building going on. We got a lot.
We have a lot of builders.
9MM just launched.
You said community.
That's a killer of a DEX. 2Fucks launched. I love it. Right, I'm in there providing liquidity. I'm earning my fucks and my 2Fucks. It's great. We're seeing development. We got Tetra. Tetra is looking like it's going to launch. I think Tetra could be like the sleeping unicorn that brings people to Pulse Chain because of there's nothing quite like
optimization
in crypto land. I love it, man. And so I feel like the development is happening. It's just we lack leadership. But let's go to D-Nice, man. D-Nice, what's up, bro, man? I know you've been a long time follower of the show. I appreciate you popping in and kind of saying hi. What's your thoughts on this? RH, do we need leadership? Would it be beneficial if he came back? Do you think we'd see green candles from that? What's your thoughts on all this, man?
Dude, first off, thanks for inviting me. And second, we definitely need RH. At least at this point, in my opinion. I don't think we're really disappointing him per se. I mean, I feel like he would want us to do different things than a lot of the things that are going on, but I doubt it's outside of what he figured would happen. And I think the SEC situation just kind of threw off the plans. If I had to guess.
For sure. Yes.
Hexlena, She tweets a lot, man. I would like to think he's got better things to do, but I'm not really sure
I
what
know,
all
and
is on his
she
plate.
tweets about cats. That's why I brought
Right.
my cat. Oh, there it is. Right? That's why I brought my cat on stream today, because she tweet, like, if anything, I would think that's Brizology's alt account, because Brizology's a cat dude.
Right.
Like, I like cats too. I mean, don't get me wrong. So it's they're cool. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's interesting to think about. I don't think it is either. But man, I was reading, man, she's got some info on this guy that, I never knew about, because I don't read all her tweets. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend some time. I did this last night when I was laying in bed before I went to bed, to go through all her tweets. Man, she's got a lot of data on RH that I had no clue about. And she speaks about it from a point where almost like I can see why people think it's his alt account. So, yeah, it's interesting, man. But man, we appreciate you. I appreciate you hopping on today. If you got to go back to work, feel free to do so, man. It's feel free to hop on anytime, dude. This is your home, your stream. This is a community stream. I want everyone to feel like they can come up and talk about what's going on in their minds, man. So it's great. It's great, man. So
yeah,
Frank,
dude, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna bounce, but I'm gonna listen.
All right, be nice. See you, brother. Take it easy. Go out, make some money, and bring that money into Pulse Chain.
Will do, sir.
Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
All right, later.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Great conversations, man. We always have good conversations when Frank's on here. I would love to hear your perspective. Do you think community needs leadership? Do you think without leadership, community dissolves?
That's a great two questions, right? So it's
fun to think about, man.
So great leadership, right? So the wave in Hex was led by great leadership with Richard Hart.
It was,
without question, right? And the wave for the launch of Pulse Chain was led by Richard Hart. All right. So we're kind of in uncharted territories right now, right? So I don't know what it was like when Satoshi launched, Bitcoin.
He was around in the early days.
Okay. I know there was a point where he
disappeared.
Yep. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and Richard Hart has talked about that. It's what I think, I think he has talked about just, can correct me if I'm wrong, but has he talked about that? Like he was going to disappear at some point? Okay, fine.
I mean, many times, Frank, quite the contrary, like quite the opposite. He would say like, "Oh, Satoshi's a bitch for disappearing." And unless you're dead, you abandoned your community. And RH would even talk about when there was that, I think it was the inflation bug, or there was some hack that he went on and streamed on how to take care of the issue, and that he was the one that came, to the Bitcoin community's aid when there was time of need. He's talked about that, like how he was a guy for that, and he loves that, man. RH loves being in the spotlight, and he loves being the guy. Like he wants to be the best man in crypto. Like that, there's no doubt in my head that that's what he wants.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, I have a little bit of, background for executive. My wife's an executive coach, or an executive coach, and it all starts from the top down. So, we would certainly do a lot better with Richard. The community would do a lot better with Richard continuing to stream. I mean, I was taken by Richard when he was on a token metric stream. I was like, wow, this guy's, I saw two alphas, talking, about crypto together, Ian Bellina and him. And I was like, man, this guy, he's got something, like I was taken by him. So I've been following him ever since. And that's been, I think, August 2020, maybe something like that. So I've been following him for a long time. So I don't think, I think the answer to the question is yes, we need leadership. Richard Hart's leadership would certainly help. And we've got 200 plus leaders in the community that share.
We do.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess there's no real right answer to it. All you can do is just look to what the leadership has caused it to this point, which is the leadership is to, the YouTubers talking about it. And I think that's and I think, I think it would be really important for Richard to come back. I think that I think eventually he's going to come back. And I do I think that Pulse Chain can move without Richard? Yeah, I think it can.
It can, but like once again, so like I use the analogy of the 4 rocket thrusters on the rocket ship that we're on. The ETH being one of them, because there's 2 entities that we know of that holds over 300,000 Ethereum in their wallet. Like, that's a beautiful thing. We don't need RH back for that part of the narrative or that part of the rocket engine to work. We don't need RH back for the SEC clarity. I mean, the SEC clarity can happen without him being with us, and then it just, that part would be explosive. And we don't need RH back to have privacy. And he could add privacy to the PulseX pools, and that kind of would help facilitate without front run, including himself. And we don't need that, but it would dismantle one of the engines, right? It would, and so like, if I believe that we have a potential from the bottom that I could get a 50x without him coming back, maybe I only believe we only get a 20x from the absolute bottom. I don't know. Like, what is the assessment? You have to give that an assessment, right? Okay, what do I lose on my upside potential by him just disappearing and being a Satoshi? I mean, there's other factors out there at play that still are great for our ecosystem, that are amazing, but it does lose one part of what could send us to the stratosphere. I think, man, Frank, honestly, dude, like that part alone, like if he would have tweet right now, should I go live? Remember that? That's how you used to, like, should I go live? You would see some absolute godlike candles on all the assets, on all his assets. You would just see, like, it would just go parabolic, and throughout a stream it'd go. Of course, you'd see some sell pressure. You get some jeets, right? Like that's part of the game. But I think we would establish a pretty good floor at a much higher price range than where we're at now. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong, right? I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's certainly a great salesman. He's certainly a great leader. And that's what it takes to, I mean, it's sales to get people into your product, right? So we would all benefit tremendously. And I'm curious, as you were saying that, I was wondering, what's the average amount of time that Richard streams per year? And maybe there's some metric where you could, put up on all the charts, Richard streamed now, Richard streamed then, Richard streamed here, and just to see if it actually
and correlate it with Hex.
Yeah.
Like what Hex is probably.
That'd be really cool, and maybe an event chart, from that standpoint. Or actually, when we get to a moment, I did a little research on the altcoin index.
Let's dive into that here in a second. Yeah, I definitely want to dive into that.
Just want to. So I'm in data mode. So I'm thinking.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What a great place to.
What's the second question? Do you remember?
No. It was.
I just only have one question for both of you.
Yes. Let's just.
Before Frank goes deep into the data, I love data. Me and my friends on trading, we're trying to build data on each asset class we're trading, how much they move. So we're trying to go deep. So my question to both of you and anyone who's on the stream listening, what else do you want Richard to say on any stream if he comes out again? He said it all, man. Value the things, become a better person, build, be a good ambassador. He said it all.
I'm going to give you an example
got something
of a community or a cult or like a organization that says the exact same thing for the last 200 years. It's called Christianity. It's religion. If you go to church and you're following the guidelines in a church, or you're believing in a religion, you hear the exact same thing every single Sunday. They reinforce the principles and the teachings of Jesus Christ and reinforce the principles and teachings of God.
Fine,
It's the exact
fine.
same thing. That's what good leadership does. Good leadership comes and reinforces the underlying principles that make the good, right? That bring out like what we need. Like, and you see this, and it's the same in entrepreneurship when you follow like then you have a mentor. When you pay for mentorship, like I'll go into like I have a bunch of masterminds I'm part of. It's the same stuff I'm hearing over and over and over again. It's just reinforcement and because as humans, we go off emotion and we get emotionally detached and we go in another direction. We have to be brought back home. We have to be brought back home every single time because that's human nature. That's just the way we are as humanity. And that's why religion is the way it is. It preaches the same stuff over and over and over and over again. It's why RH, when he was doing the good word that he was doing, it was all his streams were the same. It was all the same thing over and over and over and over again. But it's what crypto needs and still needs, I will argue.
Fine, I agree on those points. But then what makes the Christian groups extremely strong? They follow the rules. They follow what they've been told, and they're doing it on a daily basis. We don't do that on a daily basis. A very minority of us in the crypto community, especially in Persian community, do it. They build things, they onboard, and but the majority of us, they choosing fruit pitchers. So how do you want us to be strong? As long as we choose fruit pitchers, man, you're never gonna be strong. It's same like Christians going out on the street and then kicking into the homeless guy, like, please help me, and like you kick on it.
Well, let's use that analogy. If the church closed for 5 years and then everyone goes out there and starts like doing bad things that's against the word of God, right? Like they're going to open back up the church and bring everyone back in and re-preach the good word again. Like if the church were to close, you bet your damn butt that those people who are believers in that religion or believers in that, that faith, that they're going to go out there and start, not everybody, don't get me wrong, not everybody, but like there are going to be members of that church are going to go out there and start doing the things that they never did before and they're not supposed to do, right? Like they're not supposed to do these things, and like they're going to start doing these things. And I
got another one.
Well, hold on. So what was? Let me answer the question too. What was your question originally, Norbert?
Yeah, re-ask it to Frank.
Oh yeah. So my question was that what would Richard say if he would come back and stream again? He said it all, man. His previous videos are the Bible. If you're a true believer of anything, you don't need to go to the church to be a good Christian.
You always refer back to the structure of whatever you're like. I wrote a book, right? So the book is the structure. It was a workshop first, right? So you always refer back to the initial concepts, and then you can create from that point on. Like new stuff comes up while you're on stream. So he can share, he can have his platform be whatever it is, and then you can get creative when you have a platform. So that's what's going to happen. And as we were saying this, we definitely need him, and we need more new people in the ecosystem. And that's generally he would bring new people.
He would do that too.
So what would he say, Frank? What would he say if he come back and stream again?
Same thing.
I'm not sure
if do you think that people would buy things just because he says which he said something 2 years ago?
No. Yep. What would he say? I'm not sure if I understand your question, because like what would he say? He's going to say there's a lot of things he could say, but what's the context of your question? Because it seems like it's a narrow, like you have a perspective on something that has it like it's only this.
The question is, you saying that we need Richard to come back and stream again to make the change successful again and green candles to happen. So my question is, let's say Richard comes back and stream again. What do you want him to say on the stream?
Well,
that would make us more successful and more well known in the crypto world.
He was all excited to talk about Hex. Why wouldn't he be excited to talk about Pulse Chain? Why wouldn't he be? Yeah. Why? I mean, that's the obvious place to go. He would talk about Pulse Chain, and then it would go. It would go.
Yeah, but we talked about it before. He talked about it, and majority of the people don't value it. So why would they value it differently now? Because he say it again.
How about his next project?
I wouldn't say my next project, because then would not front run me, but then you would play the system.
Well,
You know,
what
like
if it
you
was
don't show
something-
your cards to the people when you play a
What
game.
if it was something that would help Pulse Chain, and that gets people excited, and they get and people onboard into Pulse Chain? I mean, that's what helped Hex, right? So
Yeah.
Pulse Chain helped Hex, Pulse X helped Hex, right? So
Kinda.
sort of on the way down, help keep it up, propped up. You know, so that's a tough question, Norbert, and there's no one answer. There's no one right answer for that too.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely. No.
you know,
I love talking to you guys. You're so
this is gonna be good.
intellectual and
We're
Mr. Fast
gonna
Abdul,
love this one, man. This is gonna be good.
Habibi.
Unless he's bringing me bribes. In fact, I'll take bribes and Pulse today. Fast Abdul, I would gladly take some bribes and Pulse if you want to send them over to me, Frank, and Norbert. Norbert loves bribes too. I'm pretty sure. It's also part of human emotion. We love that. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. No, I'm just taking a little time touching some grass here, but I'm still working. And bribes are on the way. Give me a month or two. Well, bribes for everybody. It's down. I just wanted to jump in on your point though about Richard Hart. Maybe you guys can fill me in because I'm not like a day one Hexkin. I kind of came in for the Pulse X sacrifice, that sort of timeline.
Me too. Poor us.
So, like, I see this like hillbilly crypto folk hero guy. Why is he good?
Charismatic, great sales, and a lot of experience in managing people, I think, too. Like managing the community in a way. Mm-hmm. So those are 4 or 5 things.
So, is he a genius or is he just early?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like he's a genius in many ways because he has a lot of entrepreneurial experience where he's built, multi-million-dollar companies. And so that shows that his, the genius part along with the crypto stuff. And you can argue that him being early, I get it. It's a little of both, Fast Abdul, I think.
Yeah.
And I equate one other parallel with Richard. Bat speed in professional baseball is a big thing, right? Bat speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just equate Richard Hart has an incredible bat speed in intellect. So, he solves problems a lot differently and probably a lot better and a lot quicker than most people. So him being a Menson, I spoke to a group of Mensons one time. Wow, they will poke holes in everything until you have a great product. So he's doing the same thing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but does that answer your question?
Kinda. I'm not quite seeing it. Like we talk about these different elements if we separate them out. So we have okay, he's a genius, right? And we're talking about Mensa, which is the certification. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I know a lot of smart guys. He doesn't seem particularly smarter than a lot of them. He's very quick, right? He can respond quickly, he calculates quickly, right? But that kind of smart doesn't translate to wise necessarily. So I still have some concerns about
good point.
His godlike abilities, right?
Right. And I would never say there's godlike abilities, but there was a certain charisma about him that Frank had mentioned that kind of gets people to rile behind him in a very cult-like fashion, which is, needed in my opinion, in any early days if you're trying to really make an asset class to grow. We saw it in Apple. We saw it in Tesla. We saw it, in other cryptocurrency communities like ADA, Cardano. We saw it in Bitcoin. There was the cult of Satoshi. And now, of course, Satoshi went away and it kept going, but that's a little bit different. Bitcoin was the only thing that was there. Now you have shit everywhere. And it's like you need, I feel like, community, but leadership more than ever. And that's the problem with the humans. Humans, if they don't have leadership, they're going to go off and sin. They're going to go off and sin on the opposite direction if they're not being told what to do over time. And to Norbert's point, or my point to Norbert's question is that, people have to get told what to do, the same thing over and over and over again. It's just how we are as humans. We're just, I don't know.
It's just boredom.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm still doing the same mistake.
We will. Even though it's wrong, you're going to do it. It's human, man. It's just part of who we are. It's like, I don't know, man. And look, I don't think Hexlena is his alt account personally because I don't see Richard Hart being a cat guy. Like what? Like cat? Who said that? Who's in my chat?
Actually, I can see Richard as a cat guy,
Yeah,
on his
Crystal Seven
sofa,
said that.
like
Hey,
stroking a cat, and just looking at his stuff like, yeah, kitty.
It's weird, right?
I can
Like,
picture
don't
that.
know, man. If you're going to be an alt account or some kind of like other personality, why choose that? I don't know. Maybe that's part of the whole genius about it that we
Because
would
then
never
you're the least
him.
expecting it that is
Yeah,
him,
maybe it's
like that's the best cover up, like.
I don't know. I mean, it's just.
But
Yeah.
okay, then I have one more question because Fast Abdul is here and he is a builder.
He is.
A good one, actually.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
what
$2.
What makes any product unique and outstanding and extremely popular on Earth? If people are working on it constantly, look at Tesla. Every year they become better. You can look at iPhone.
You have a leader in Tesla.
Yeah, you have a leader indeed. But then, like I said, the people who are associated with Tesla, they do what meant to do. They don't go to the petrol station and put petrol into their Teslas. They go to the supercharging station and they charge their Teslas there because that's what you're supposed to do with your Tesla. Same with Hex. You don't swap your Hex for pictures of fruits. You lock it down and then you stake it and things like that. So as long as like that, it's not going to happen. But yeah, so my point is that things need to be worked on to become better and better. We humans as well, and then the product itself. What made Binance so successful? You had an extremely easy to use app. You just went on the app, you tapped a few buttons, and here we go. My $10,000 was on my account straight away. I could do it straight away. It's the same thing with Pulse Chain. So many steps involved, extremely advanced player you need to be able to use, the product itself. So that's holding us back, in my opinion, more than any reminder from Richard. And you are right. That's the problem with humankind. We kind of fairly limited and primitive. I even know myself that you only go long on if you want to trade something if you are above the 20-day moving average and the 20-day moving average is pointing up. That's the only thing you do. And guess what? My ego comes around. Yeah, it went up too high already. Let's go short because it's gonna come down. No, so on that sense, you are absolutely right. You have to be reminded. But yeah, I think if we would improve a bit more on the product itself, and then we would have back more of the streamers. I extremely enjoyed back in the day K4K crypto videos or monthly investors being on these similar setup what we're doing here, being funny and intellectual at the same time. I could relate to it, like I enjoyed it listening to the guys for 2 hours on Crypto Cabana show, and stuff like that. There's so many good streams. People really talk about extremely good stuff, which help you to grow and become a better person as well, just by listening, So
yep,
I think we need those a bit more than Richard coming back. It would be nice to have Richard back. Don't take me wrong. Don't take me wrong. But yeah, we have enough builders, in my opinion. Like I said, the only thing we're lacking is
I don't know
the only
about
thing
that.
We have insight.
I want more.
Actually, you are right. You can never stop building. Yeah, you can never stop building.
We need like another 1,000 Fast Abduls over on Pulse Chain.
Can you replicate yourself?
There can only be one. I have several
one and only.
I could train them up. 18-year-old, he could probably get his mind around it. He's sharper than I am. But I think you're right about some of the stuff, Norbert. But when we look at something like Tesla, Tesla's cool. Elon Musk is smart, but how many Teslas do you see where you live versus Dodge Caravans? I see a lot more Dodge Caravans. I think product market fit is the main component. You can have a genius idea. I'm sure there's 100 of them out there in crypto that aren't going to succeed if you don't have product market fit and you don't have the leader to sell it to the people successfully, right? So I talk to a lot of devs in my day-to-day, guys like real devs, not like frontman devs, guys who are in the background building stuff. And they have hobbies. They have projects that they're working on. One of my guys who's he is for sure, genius on paper. He can think sort of 12, 15 chess moves ahead. He's that kind of guy, but he can't communicate at all. And he's building some sort of crypto game in the background. I'm sure it'll be fantastic, but without assistance, he won't be able to bring it to market because he won't be able to share it with anybody effectively, right? Maybe a very select group. And sometimes those geniuses make it to the surface, but mostly I don't think they do. So you do need the actual present leadership to bring a product to market, and the product has to have product market fit.
You need to have the dancing monkey. You got to have the dancing monkey out there doing the marketing.
You do.
Well, Frank, let's talk about your little due diligence project that you're doing there, man. I'm kind of interested in this. What do you got there?
Yeah, I don't know if there was any real revelation in it, but I was looking at the altcoin season index, right?
Okay.
Trying to figure out where we were. Can you pull it up, or
are you able to give it to me in the private chat, and then I might be able to pull it up? Is it like a website?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll do it right now.
Send it me there, and then we'll pull it up, and then I feel like the altcoin season, if we follow the cycles, should be somewhere around August-ish. I could be wrong about that. All right, let me see if we can pull this up real quick.
Well, let's talk about that because, and I have something else. It's basically just.
Okay, here it is. So I can pull it up now. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Share screen. Altcoin season index. All right. Can you guys see it?
Yep. So bring it all the way to 9/15/19. So you just go use your hands. There you go. To about late.
Where am I going?
2019. Late 20. You're pretty much there. That's good.
Here.
29. Yeah, at the bottom, right there at the bottom, 2019. The little.
Yes.
All right. So from that point, since then, we've had 6 tops, right? 6 tops, not the lowest tops, but the highest tops. And we have 6.5 bottoms. So we're kind of towards the bottom. And I'm labeling this the 6.5 because we don't know where we are with the bottom, right? So the first run from September 15th, 19 to the next top was 80 days. All right. So, So nope. Next one. Go to the bottom right there. So from that date to the next top, it was 80 days. All right.
Got it.
Okay. So from that top to the next bottom, it was 139 days.
Got it.
All right. So then to the next top, it was 89 days.
Oh, interesting.
So then to the bottom was 96 days. To the next bottom was 96 days. Then to the next top, it was 146 days.
Wow, that must have been, what is that? That's April 21. Oh, that makes sense. April of 21. That's a massive move.
This is great. And then to the bottom, the next bottom, it was 120 days.
Okay.
And then to the next top, it was 156 days.
This top here in January or this top in August?
The January 17, 2022, it was a 78. The next, it was 100. That was 118 days down.
Bear market.
It's hard because I'm. I wish I had my little thing here. I can send it to you, but so. And then, all right, so 118 down, and then the next top was 80. It took 86 days to get there. So we got an 80-day to go up. It was 80 days, 89, 146 days, 86 days.
Wow.
And so, and from the 86 top, it's 269 down. That's a long one. That's 269 days down. And then it took another 258 days to go back up to the top.
Yeah, but that was just pulling out of the bear market. That's the big, right?
I mean, and so far from that top, we're at 144 days down. All right.
Okay.
So you got, and I'm just kind of working through this data to find patterns.
By the way, guys, on this top, the pulse chain ecosystem of the spear did a 5x from bottom to top. So don't say we didn't move. We moved.
Okay. See, great.
Okay.
That's
So
great.
what is your estimate there, Frank? So are we counting 80 days then from here? What would that put us? If we did average.
Let's think about that. It probably still hasn't bottomed yet. All right.
It might have a little bit more, right?
Yeah. So the average.
Look back here. Yeah.
But oddly enough, if you take the tops and the bottoms and divide by 6, which is the six tops and 6 bottoms roughly, it's 135 days up on average, and it's 147 days heading down on average.
Got it.
Not much difference, but in the most recent, we're down 144 days.
So we're right on track.
Yeah, I look at this and go, there's nothing wrong. Everything's on track. So it sucks. It's uncomfortable because prices haven't, done their thing, but it looks like it's right on track. And I think that, just looking at the data, 80 days up, 89 days up, 146 days up, 156 days up, 86 up, 258 up. There's no pattern to it. There's no pattern to how many days up and down other than we know the averages, right?
Right.
So, some statistician could look at this and go, here, I see a pattern here, right here,
What's the average? So if we take the average, how many days is the average to go up?
135.
So if we take that from today, which is the 14th of June,
yep.
What is that? That's about puts us about in October, right?
135 up. Well, you mean to a peak, right?
That's true. That would be a peak. Or so what would that be? Would that put us in the end of the year then?
Let me look at my little calendar here.
Something like that.
Is that the end of the year, Norbert?
Which kind of makes sense because I remember last time when I joined the bull market. Unfortunately, I came in the top, but it was nice to have that feeling. You touch something and it turned into gold. You've done like a 3x in like 2 days or 10x in like 10 days. It was amazing.
Yeah, guys,
I didn't take profit on anything.
It would be if it were 135 days, it would be pretty much end of October, beginning of November. If we were to top, I mean, it's going to be building up until then.
Right. We could have like another, 10, 20 days down, 30 days down. And that's what Sami's saying. He's saying like the next altcoin season top is going to be December, January is what he's saying.
Okay. So he thinks we have another at least another 30 days of this.
He thinks that we'll really start moving in August. And so like it's interesting because like even if you look at like the pulse chain chart, and I've done this before where I measured the last bottoming of pulse chain until it moved, it puts us right into October. So it's just interesting that all these things kind of line up. Once again, we're just in a movie, guys. The script's already been written. You just got to find the puzzle pieces and the clues, and you can figure out where we're going. That's my opinion.
That's right. And here's another thing too is so we know when it goes up, it likely will go up 80. It'll take 80 days to get there. So it could go like more straightforward up. However, as there's 146 days, 156 days, 258 days it took to go up at one point. Wouldn't we want it to take longer to go up?
Sure. And this raises I think Sprackberger has a good point. Needs to find a bottom first. It doesn't look like on that altcoin chart there we haven't found that bottom. That's why maybe it's another 30 days before the bottom's there, maybe 6. I mean, I don't know, right? Like I have no idea. But
here, let's think about it. We know it's already gone down 144 days. If the bottoms are on average 147, you could say on average we're 3 days away from the on average.
Right. But in this one could be a little bit longer than normal too. Like it doesn't have to be right on the average. It could be one of the ones that are longer than the average, right? Before we
However, here's another thing I'm looking at. So going down in the first, since we started this, 139 days down, 96 days down, 156 down,
maybe we're there.
269 down, 269 down. Yeah, it's I mean the 269 down would really suck. That would really
I mean, I feel like that
would destroy me. I'm not sure how much more beating my portfolio
Yeah.
can take. That seriously, every day I open it like again.
Well, no, it doesn't mean a price has to go down. Price sideways too counts in this, right? It's not always just price down. Price down is part of that. Don't get me wrong, but like price sideways is also not in altcoin season, right? Altcoin season means price is going up and like a lot up, and it's not just our ecosystem, all ecosystems. And like I said last time, we were right on track, man. We did a 5x during that little alt season. And like I said, a Cardano only did a 3x. Phantom only did like a 3x. I think Avalanche did a 5x. It might have done a 6x. Like, dude, we were right on track. Like it was perfect. So if we assume that the average layer 1 blockchain will do a 20x in the next altcoin season, well, we were doing right along with the average, or we were probably beating the average if you go and compare all. And that's what people don't talk about. They don't talk because you know why? Because everyone thinks about their sack price. And I say that all the time on the show. Freaking get over the sack price. It's gone. It's negated. It's out the window. I threw in 6 figures in the sack. That number is gone. And I put in new money, of course. But that's why people are like, they're so butthurt, and they think that we didn't have an altcoin season in January. And we did, man. Look at the bottom to the top. We did a 5 freaking X on Pulse Chain. Pulse X did like a 7 or 8X. The Ink token did like a 15X. I don't know. The Ink token went parabolic, right? It was crazy off that 40-cent bottom. I wish I'd have been accumulating that. I didn't. Sucked. But I bought the 250 bottom. We'll see if it goes any lower. I don't know, but I did buy that. But we did, man. We did great. And I think we could do even better in the next altcoin season. How much better? I freaking don't know, man. Who knows? We're just living in this movie. We got to find the puzzle pieces and put it together. But once again, man, I look at all 4 of the engines on the rocket ship. And that's what today's show's about is one of those engines. So, man, Frank, that's good data, bro.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. And
well done, Frank.
Maybe ask the listeners if they see any insights on this that they can put in the chat.
Yeah, if you guys want to put in the chat. Also, guys, I dropped the link that he is looking at on that altcoin indicator chart. If you want to save that, and we reference it back once in a while, I'm going to save it and and check in on
one of the tools that it's got. It's got a whole bunch of other tools on there as well.
It's a great tool.
Look at, yeah. So.
Yeah. Fast, Abdul, what do you think would help us to get to those tops as swiftly as possible?
Dude, he's going to say bribes, bro. He's going to say bribes.
Always bribes is part of it, but they have to be bribes going to the right place. And with that in mind, I think you're definitely right, Corey, about, people have to get over the sacrifices, all the sacrifices. It's done. Not every sacrifice could look like the 2-fuck sacrifice. That's just how it is.
Hey, I was in that sacrifice. I wish I'd put more. I wish I'd have done more, but I was in
points,
it.
Of course, points. Points. I think one of the things that I'd really like to highlight is that you, Corey, and Dane too, and all the other influencers are major puzzle pieces in how we're going to go to the moon with this stuff. And I think the community has to realize that and see the value in these guys. They get so much flack online, on Twitter, all over, but like every one of them, whether you align with them or not, right? And there's some I definitely do not align with, and I have proof. But like the value that they will bring with being like their forward-facing images, their reach on YouTube and Twitter and all the other platforms is huge. So like I would like to really push the community to bring out new influencers, old influencers, guys who have fallen off. Come back, guys. It's time to start streaming again. Like we should double, triple that number on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere. And if you're already doing the job like you are, Corey, like I would implore you, beg you, bribe you to do it more, right? Like, how about 4 days a week? Can we do 4 days a week? That would be great. That sort of thing that is play dividends, right? Like huge, like the people who have 1,000 followers right now are going to have 10,000 followers at the top of the bull market. The guys who have 20, 30,000 followers right now, like Corey Costa, Crypto Coffee, they're going to be freaking gold. Like they're going to have 1 million people following them at one point in time. Whether it's this cycle or not, I don't know, but it's huge. There's a huge amount of financial energy that's going to follow these leaders in social media into the pulse chain. And we talk about Richard being absent and not having leaders. In a lot of ways, these are the de facto leaders, right? And you have other guys like me who are builders who also have like a presence, in social media, etc. But like, it's not the same, right? Like I'll never have the same reach as you, Corey, or Crypto Coffee, or any of them, really. Like I can move around, but it's, I have another job to do.
That's how you get your reach, is by moving around and getting the good word of what you got going on out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we really need, I think, the influencers to step up and bring it. And like, obviously, respect that it's already happening, but I think the community has to recognize that that's what's happening. Encourage these people, pay them if you can, to come out and
that's taboo
in the community. Well, or support them however you can, and that could mean if they have like private groups, join their private groups, right? Like it's
very taboo.
Yeah, terrible, I know, but like
I'm part of a lot of private groups.
There's potential here. I see that too. I've joined a private groups mostly fairly recently, and I see a lot of repeat, like other influencers and personalities in the same groups, right? Like
I'm in a community.
It's great. So people should really embrace this stuff, and that's what's going to bring us to the moon. Richard Hart will be a nice add-on when and if he shows up for work.
Yep. When and if he shows up for work.
Can you recall, Fast Abdul, what the website is where it tracks influencers and their activity? Because I'm trying to remember.
There's a social media website.
There was one before, hexstreamers.com or something like that. There was like all the. It was collecting all the influencers who was Hex and Push and related channels. Right. They were all listed there, and it was like all dates. Like this comes out at this time. I'm not sure what happened to that one, but
I can remember it.
What was that one called, Norbert?
It's been ages ago. Hexstreamers.com or something like that.
There was like Pulse Tube. That
everyone, Crypto Coffee, K4K, you name it, everyone was there. Cabana, everyone, Hexibustard, everyone was there.
There's a website called favicon.com, FAVIKON.com, that tracks. It looks like
the social media one I was thinking about. Motley had put it in there. Luna Crush. That was one I was thinking. That's the social. It shows you like the engagement around any asset, the social metrics around that. You can go in there, engage. Even if it's FUD that's going around, it's.
We lost you, Corey.
Can you hear me now?
We are. Yep.
Checking. I was saying that even if it's FUD, Luna Crush will talk about it. Luna Crush, it has the metrics of all of it, right? And even the old saying, "Bad publicity is good publicity." It's true. It's true. There is an element of, even when it's FUD and people talking crap all day long on toxic Twitter, it will engage the metrics on social media and push it up. So
Roots brought up something interesting last week. He said, and I'm trying to remember it exactly. There's a cap to the number of holders based on influencers in our community. Like if you're shilling, let me think about that and get the right facts.
Well, you can say like, okay, if our community's 100,000 big, right? Like, and then you have a certain amount of community or streamers, you're going to have out of that 100,000, they're going to navigate towards their streamer who they resonate with, right?
Well, I think it was between 4,000 and 8,000. The average of this community, don't quote me on this, is somewhere between 4,000 and 8,000 subscribers
per streamer.
per streamer.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
So, and I can't remember where that stat came from, and it may not be 100% accurate, but he said that, and that there's a cap, like the number of holders to streamers, it's capped. That's why we need people from outside of the community. That's why we need to not just watch each other's streams, but we have to keep bringing people from outside the community to raise the cap.
120%.
So,
which is, what our part of our mission is. Our mission is to onboard as many real estate investors
unbelievable
as possible. Pulse Tube, here it is. Fast Abdul, here, I'm going to put this also in the comments. This is a great place to go to look kind of like they had like all the streamers on there, and they used to post like their videos. I haven't seen them do much lately, or what's going on. I'm on there, which is cool. Okay, they are still posting updated videos on here. Okay.
Oh wow.
They have my bullish pulse bottom playing out video on here, which I did I think it was like 2 days ago. And so they still have very current, up to date streamers. Yeah, this is good. This is great. It has a lot of this stuff. So if you want to kind of get a feel for what streamer you might resonate with, this could be a good place to come and just explore around a little bit and see who you like. I mean, obviously there'll be guys you don't like. If you don't like them, don't subscribe to them. If you like them, like what they're saying, subscribe. Speaking of which, if you guys are watching right now, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. I got to pump the algorithm so I can get the good word of DeFi crypto out and real estate
on all your devices,
all that and stuff.
Share it on Twitter, guys. Press the share button.
Yeah. Or just I really like that recently people cutting out some funny or important bits from our conversations and post it and tag us.
I haven't seen what's his face out in a while. He hasn't been doing that.
Kasha was doing.
What's his name?
Kaisa.
Yeah, what happened to
Kaisa,
Kaisa, man? He was like, he'd go to all the different streams and he'd cut like the best parts, and that was like his superpower. Like he was out there on Twitter just posting. It was freaking awesome. I haven't seen him around. I hope he didn't capitulate. He could have. I don't know. I hope not.
I kind of did because before I was doing these kind of things, and I post like motivational stuff and really good things.
Yeah, who's another good one.
And then maybe a couple of people, like it, and that's it. So I'm like, I'm not interested, and I shouldn't. Or I don't know what's happening with my algorithm. Or I only have like 200 followers, which I couldn't care less how many followers I have.
Yeah, you got to get on there and talk a little bit more.
It's just, but I was trying, and there was no interest many times. There was like zero likes or like whatever. I'm like, what's the point?
It's consistency. It's the algorithm has to pick up on it and see that you're actually like putting the work in, and then that constant consistency will push up the algorithms. Like I'm doing on Instagram right now.
Once I'm a retired trader, then by all means. But
yeah.
Right now I have
AI Hex Builder though. If you guys aren't following this guy, I love his Twitter account. He's got a lot of content that's not crypto related. That's very like mental state, conspiracy theories too, physical health, like health related content. Like he's got all this different, that's very valuable content besides just like, preaching the good word of like, Pulse Chain and Hex and all that, because, you got to reach other audiences. And that's hard unless you have some kind of relation to that audience. So for us, obviously, we have a very strong relationship with the real estate guys. The entrepreneurial real estate space is where we have a relationship with, and so it's easy for us to talk to these guys and bring them in because we have that relationship. And it's like anything else. If you are able to go out and relate to another community somehow, and be part of that community somehow, because maybe it's what your interest is like. Or, for example, you could be like, I thought about doing this. If I didn't move to Puerto Rico, I was going to join the local Corvette club because I used to have a orange C8, and I was going to join the local Corvette club so I could start talking to all the different Corvette owners in Arizona so I could bring them into crypto. Literally, that was going to be part of my plan. If of course, Puerto Rico kind of screwed all that up, and now I'm out here driving a Jeep Compass. Sold the Corvette, not in a Jeep Compass. I don't think there's gonna be any Jeep Compasses, car clubs.
All the venture capitalists that live in Puerto Rico, you're gonna.
But yeah, there's Puerto Rico guys. I was over at what's called a guys' dinner. They call it the guys' dinner over here in Dorado Beach. A lot of millionaires there, and I was talking to people at guys' dinner about the Richard Hart ecosystem. And I think I've got 2 of them. I got one meeting lined up in 3 weeks when he gets back on the island about onboarding them. It's, you just got to talk about it. We could talk about it. Like if you're already relating to these people on a level anyways, you've already got rapport built with them. Like, for example, if I'm at a real estate mastermind, these guys already know who I am. I've got rapport built with them. Maybe I've done deals with them in the past. And then they're interested in knowing what you're interested in. And then you just start talking about what you're interested in. And it so happens that we're interested in DeFi crypto, is more specifically in this space called Pulse Chain, right? Like, so it's like, that's our interest. And you don't have to go real deep in the weeds on Richard Hart and all that, but you can start talking about the ethos about DeFi and then start talking about how Pulse Chain, what makes it so amazing with the community and the builders and all this. We're fully decentralized around the world. And you start talking about these ethos things that we believe in, and that will pique their interest. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and then you're like, yeah, man, have you ever been early to a blockchain? Imagine if you could have been early to like Ethereum. Okay. What if you could have been early to Avalanche? What if you could have been early to Phantom? What if you could have been early? And you start talking about these things, and like, this blockchain's never seen a bull run. Like, I don't know, maybe it only does a 10x. But man, maybe it does way more. Like we've never seen a bull run, and that's how I'll present the conversation when I transition into the conversation. And then they're like, "Oh, well, can you tell me more about it?" Yeah, of course. First, you got to learn DeFi, bro. Let's get your security in order, and that's how we go down that rabbit hole. But there's already an interest there, and I see funding Jim in the chat. He's really good at networking and going to these like masterminds and communities and doing what we do too. Yeah, it's about onboarding the communities you're already relating to. That's how you get outside the echo chamber of screaming. Now, I don't want to onboard the Phantom guys or the AVAX guys or Bitcoin. They don't give a shit about it. They hate, dude. They're like cultists too. Like they believe in they're the hardest to onboard, right? I don't care about like onboarding those guys. I'd rather onboard no coiners. Those guys are the guys who will also be devout followers once they learn about the ecosystem and they get ingrained in here. Like those are the guys you want. They haven't been doctrinized or indoctrined in other ecosystems. They're not following Charles Hopkinson and getting indoctrinated by him. People do. They follow him like a leader. Once again, he's a leader. They follow him. And you're not going to convince these guys to come. I mean, maybe you can, but like, I don't want to try that. That's not get out of the echo chamber, man. And start. It's good here. I love we do our show for us in the community, but that's almost, it's not going to be the best onboarding tool, especially because we talk deep game theory.
To your point, you and Dane are a perfect example of onboarding people into the community, because you're in real estate. Real estate, crypto. So you're able to communicate to real estate investors how important it is to at least dip their toe in the water with crypto. So that is the perfect, So where else can everybody who's listening in the stream or in the community dip their toe into, and use their expertise within a community they already know? And now you're an expert at crypto. So now how do you bridge the gap there? So just thinking out loud.
You gotta get them a little bit of a FOMO conversation going on. You talk about how crypto is the highest appreciating asset class known to mankind. You talk about how in 2020 and 21, there was more millionaires and billionaires created out of crypto than any other asset class at that time. You talk about some data points that makes them go, what? Huh? And like, I've heard about people, yeah, you can back up these data points. I mean, did you know that the average layer 1 blockchain does about a 500x in its first cycle? The data point. I don't know if
Please.
we will.
I'm,
We
I'm
probably
ready.
won't.
I'm ready for sure.
I'm not.
Please.
I'm not betting that we do a 500x in our ecosystem, right? But like, that's just a data point you can point to.
399x would do as well. Absolutely.
399.
But the thing is, like it's not
20x,
just.
bro. I'm buying a yacht.
Oh man, yeah, 20. Yeah, maybe.
I'm buying a freaking yacht on a 20x.
Maybe.
Man, I'll tell you that.
But the one thing, another thing to add to you guys is that the two things. You're not just into real estate. You're also a genuine. You and Dane are extremely genuine. Even Frank and all the people who come here, extremely genuine and have like high values and high standards. So it's easy to like listen to someone who talks to you. And then many times in your streams you talk about how to become better, what to focus on, improving our life and stuff like that. Sometimes you share some of your down moments in your life when you were really deep down. I had once $3 in my pocket one day. I looked around like, what
Me
the
too.
fuck? Like, what am I doing here? Like $3. How you gonna? But I'm still here. I'm not sitting on the street and begging for money or whatever.
Personal growth and development, Norbert, is what
Yeah. Is the key. And another thing is
spiritual too.
Yeah, spiritual. Yeah, you need spiritual grounding with earth and stuff like that. But how else you can grab attention to make your streaming more interesting? How can you do that? Like what we do right now, have interesting people having back and forth conversation with each other, sharing ideas, and then because of these kind of
Go on and be yourself.
Flow is going. Like it hits your brain, and then you say something, and then like some people maybe relate to Corey, and
exactly
some people might relate to Fast Abdul, the coolness, say something sometimes, but when he says something, it's meaningful, not like me. I'm just like, oh, brag. But so yeah, that's also important, because otherwise, you're doing what? You're listening to one guy, and attention span of people these days are extremely short. So how you want people to listen to you for 1.5 hours when you talk about certain things on the same tone of voice and stuff like that? You have to have these sort of engagements when, in my opinion, when it makes it more fun and interesting.
While you were saying that, Norbert, I was thinking about Richard Hart again, and you wonder if he exhausted every opportunity to onboard people, and it kind of came to a climax when he did the outrage marketing, and that was kind of it. Now maybe there's a new way for him. Maybe he's creating a new way to speak to people, onboard people. I don't know.
Why would we think that is true? Why wouldn't we just think he's playing video games in his basement waiting for his court case to be over?
He used to play video games. He said it all the time. He used to be a gamer.
Another thing is, look at human psychology. Even yourself when you were younger, because you mentioned earlier, guys, that we need Richard to keep repeating the same thing for us again and again. Did you listen to your mother when you were younger when they said, "Oh, don't smoke or don't hang out with these guys"?
Told me 20 times.
You went to smoke and you hang out with the guy you're not meant to, until you learned your lesson that okay, that guy is a D-head, or that guy is a whatever, and I shouldn't do anything with that person. I should focus my attention on other things. Humankind doesn't like to be told what to do. And they have to come to a conclusion and the lesson by themselves.
You think that, but I'm telling you, humans need to be told what to do. They don't
how many times I told my friends to take care of their health, to become better, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it if. I will do it when. I heard these things so many times. Even my wife, every single day I'm fighting with her, darling, please don't eat those Chinese snacks. I know you like them, but just because it has like a fat panda on it, or like doesn't listen to me. She's like, oh, but I like it. It's tasty.
But if her friend tells her, the thing that you're telling her, she'll listen. She'll listen.
No, she likes to listen to professionals. If like someone with a title says doctor, and would go to her and like, hello.
Everybody's got their own flavor. Like some people would be against doctors, and some people would only listen to doctors. Some would never listen to doctors, only to whatever witch doctor types. Have you guys heard of Durkee Turkey? Are you familiar with him? He's a new influencer.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah.
He's on Twitter and he's on YouTube. He is a dick with butt focused influencer. He mostly just talks about dick with butt Maxi,
which is fine.
That we need more of that. Like he's got a dick with butt costume, also a banana costume.
Yes.
Wow. He shoots things a lot, like with his gun, and then eats them like vegetables and fruits and things. Like he's like, you know, it's a very niche, obviously. Like we are not the target market. Like the 50-year-old guys with money are not who he's hunting for, but we need 1,000 more Durkee turkeys. Pretty sure that's his name. He's gonna be mad if I screw it up. Yeah, no,
it's in the chat. Somebody put it in the
it's right here. There we go.
That's cool. That's a great idea.
That's what we need. Like every token should have their own fanatical maniac wearing a costume.
I agree.
That's pushing that token only and hates every other one. You know, that can be part of the flavor, right? And like, you know, like we need, like, obviously what we're doing here, we have like, okay, 4 smart guys are talking for an hour and a half. Like that's not going to catch everybody. Like this is like, what's the target audience for our discussion right now? Like guys who are 45 to 55, right? Like it's not the meme community. Like I don't see them in the chat. So like we need more Durkee turkeys. We need to bring those guys in. We need to pump them up. We need to share their stuff, even if you're not like a dick with butt fanatic. You know, things like that are going to be huge. So, just
I agree 100%. And you need the builders and the utility guys. You need all of it. I think all of it plays a place and a role in this story. I say, and I'm a utility guy, man. I love utility tokens, man. They make sense to me. I like cash flow and I like all these. I like yield. Like I resonate with that because I am. Even Sami's made fun of me on one of his streams because I'm a real estate guy. Like that, I resonate with that stuff. Like, but the meme coins, yeah,
well,
we need them.
The dick with butt. The utility in that is the humor that one gets.
Yeah, you laugh
from it when they go, "What is it called?" And then they go buy it. So they don't get. I'm just thinking this out loud. They don't get staking opportunities from it or anything like that. There's no utility, but they do get a crack. You know, it's like a joke. It's like cracking a joke.
There could be utility though, Frank. Like it is possible, right?
Yeah.
They just have to work with other protocols to make that happen. Like we can look at like SolidX is a great example. Like clearly, like the Fire Whale is a businessman, and you know he's experienced. He's good at networking. He's made all sorts of arrangements. You have multiple places to stake this token, single-sided staking, yield farming, like all these utilities that have turned this meme coin into a store of value. Like there's no particular reason apart from networking skills that couldn't happen with dick with butt, right? So you know they have their own influencer, but like like where can I stake it? Where can I yield farm it? Like, you know, all this stuff could be part of the package that will attract all the audiences, but we just need more and more. Like basically we are all Richard Hart is sort of the theme I'm going with here. Like, you know, he's not showing up for work. Together we can all show up for work and we can make this happen better than he could by himself.
I love it.
And if he comes on top in like November or December after the court case and then starts streaming like 3 days a week, then like there's going to be so many winners, right?
Oh, it would.
It's all part of the package.
It'd be so explosive. Well, cool guys. I got to wind it down. I got to grab a lunch, and thank you so much for you guys hopping on, man. This has been a great conversation today. Yeah, man. And Pass Abdul, we thank you. In fact, you can go ahead and shill what you're doing, where they can find you to get more info. I love that you're building. We love the builders here. And so go ahead and share a little bit about your stuff since you're here. So the good people can find where you're at.
Yeah. And shilling is important, and everybody should be doing shilling something. So I have a very specific thing to shill because I'm a builder. My partner and I, Yellow Cake, we've come out with 2 fucks. It's now live. It's the convex / aura fork for the pulse chain. It's a big deal, guys. This is the high end of liquidity providing. Check it out. There's crazy APRs. It's very interesting, and we're just getting started. We're making all kinds of partnerships that I'm going to be announcing soon. There's little things like we're partnered with Tetra. There's a pool that has 2 fucks tokens in a
Love
Tetra pool that's going to be
I love
gauged. It
Tetra.
is gauged. It's going to pay a
Freaking love
lot
Tetra.
of APR. A lot of money is going to get paid out via that Tetra pool
Oh,
that you
great.
need 2 fucks to participate with, and you need Tetra tokens to participate with. And I have like 4 or 5 more deals like that lined up that are going to be coming in the next days and months, on top of our additional protocol bribery that we're building where you can get bribes. So we're adding extra utility and making the 2 fucks token more rare every single day. So if you
And the
guys are
Fucks
sleeping
token.
on it, yep, exactly. We've made Fucks deflationary, basically.
You made the bottom. You made the bottom, and now we're coming out.
Coming back up.
We appreciate your service, sir, on that. It was a nice little whoop. I'm like,
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah, it's time. Perfect timing. But yeah, 2phux.io. Check it out. All the links to Telegram and stuff are there. We are just getting started, and this is going to be big. And unlike Mr. Hart, I will be showing up for work every single day. Thanks, boys.
How about you, Frank? You got anything you want to shill, or at least where they can find you out on Twitter? Maybe you can grab yourself some follows, man.
Yeah, just at Polancic Frank on Twitter. Feel free to follow me. I host a mastermind.
Change it to Frank Conversations, man. I love that.
I tried
At
that.
Frank Conversations, man, because it's like we always have good combos when Frank's in the room.
Thanks. I do need to do something around that too.
Yeah, you can brand it, man. It's all about branding.
Yes. I host a private mastermind that's invitation only. I'm not saying what it is, but that's my thing that I do in the community.
Yep.
It's it's been a lot of fun. But no, I don't have anything really to shill.
Oh, you're good, bro. All right. Well, guys, hit the likes, hit the subscribe on your way out, the bell notification, that little bell thing. You just smash it. That's all you got to do. Pump the good word out there, and go and touch some grass like Fast Abdul here. He's outside. It's green. He's touching some grass. Although I don't know, it looks like he's going to a business meeting with his jacket. I'm not 100%, but maybe he's getting ready to go off some bras. See, guys.
Always be selling,
yeah,
Corey.
we'll
Always be selling.
Go ahead.
ABC. Always be closing.
Yeah, always
be closing.
No matter where you are.
Yeah.
Close.
I will be gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We're at a real estate mastermind out in Boston. And I think we'll be back Thursday. So we'll be streaming Thursday and Friday. And I think Dane will be back in the seat too by that time. I think he gets back from his trip over the weekend. And so, yeah, we appreciate everybody in the comments. We appreciate everybody watching. You guys are what makes the show. I thank you for that. And have a great weekend, man. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Thanks. Peace out.
See you guys.